In the vast emptiness between the stars, the UES Harbinger drifted silently, a massive human warship unlike any ever constructed before. 12 kilometers from bow to stern, bristling with weaponry that could shatter continents, the vessel represented humanity's ultimate insurance policy against cosmic threats. Captain Yunji stood on the command bridge, her weathered face illuminated by the glow of tactical displays as she watched her crew prepare for the first deliberate journey beyond known space. "Status report on the quantum fold drive," she demanded, her voice calm despite the gravity of their mission. "Drive is nominal, Captain. Calculations complete. We can initiate the fold whenever you're ready," replied Navigator Jao. The Harbinger had been built in secret over decades, a project born from humanity's darkest fears after encountering the ruins of dead civilizations on their first extrasolar expeditions. Something dangerous lurked in the cosmos, and humanity had decided to meet it with overwhelming force rather than wait for it to find Earth. Captain Yunji moved to the center of the bridge. The crew worked in focused silence around her. They knew what was at stake. This mission would take them farther than any human had ever traveled. "Begin final systems check," she ordered. Lieutenant Hejun's fingers moved quickly across his console. All weapons systems green. Shield generators at full capacity. Engine room reports all systems ready. Added engineer Sumin through the comm system. "The new quantum fold drive is stable. We can make the jump on your command." Captain Yunji nodded. She had commanded ships for 20 years, but nothing like the Harbinger. This ship was different. It was built not just to explore or defend, but to strike fear. The ship carried enough firepower to destroy small moons. Its hull was made of a special alloy that could withstand direct hits from most known weapons. Deep inside the ship was a power core that could generate energy equal to a small star. "Captain, message from Earth Command," called out Communications Officer Taiyan. "Admiral Kim wishes to speak with you." The main screen lit up with the image of Admiral Kim. His stern face showed the weight of his responsibility. "Captain Yunji, you understand what's at stake with this mission," he said. "The Harbinger represents the hopes and fears of all humanity. We've lost 3 colony ships in the past year. There's something out there, something that doesn't want us to expand." "We understand, Admiral," replied Yunji. "The Harbinger was built for this moment. Your mission is to find whatever is attacking our ships and show them that humans are not easy prey," said Admiral Kim. "Use force if needed, but remember our primary goal is to survive and bring back information." "Yes, sir. We will not fail." The call ended, and Yunji turned to her crew. "All stations, prepare for quantum fold. Set course for the Orion Deep Field where the last colony ship disappeared." The massive engines hummed as power built up. The quantum fold drive was new technology, allowing the ship to create a temporary fold in spacetime. It could cover vast distances that would take years with regular engines. "Fold drive reaching critical energy levels," reported Jao. "Ready to create fold in 30 seconds." Captain Yunji sat in her command chair and pressed a button on the armrest. Her voice echoed throughout the entire ship. "All crew, this is the captain. We are about to make our first jump beyond known space. We go to face an unknown enemy that has already destroyed several of our ships. The Harbinger was built for this purpose. We carry with us the hopes of Earth and all human colonies. Whatever we find out there, we will show them that humanity is not to be taken lightly." The ship's lights dimmed as power was directed to the fold drive. A deep vibration moved through the hull. "Fold in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jao counted down. The stars outside the viewports stretched into lines of light. The fabric of space bent around the massive ship. For a brief moment, everyone felt a strange sensation, as if their bodies were being pulled in all directions at once. Then suddenly, the stars returned to normal points of light. The ship had jumped. "Fold complete," reported Jao. "We've arrived at the target coordinates." "Tactical, full scan of the area," ordered Unji. Look for any signs of the lost colony ship or unknown vessels. Officer Minho studied his screens carefully. Initial scans showed debris at about 50,000 kilometers ahead. Could be the remains of our colony ship. Move us closer, half power to engines, said Yunji. And keep weapons hot. I want us ready for anything. The Harbinger moved forward slowly, its massive form cutting through the emptiness of space. As they approached the debris field, the scanners picked up more details. Captain, there's something strange about this debris, reported Minho. The metal has been changed somehow. It's not just broken. It looks almost like it was eaten away. Yunji frowned. Eaten? By what? Unknown, Captain. But I'm detecting unusual energy readings within the debris field. Something is still active out there. Captain Yunji stood up and walked to the front viewport. The debris of the colony ship was now visible, scattered across space like a broken toy. Bring us to a full stop, she ordered. Launch probe 1. Let's get a closer look before we go in. A small probe shot out from the Harbinger, heading toward the debris. Its cameras and sensors began sending back data immediately. Zoom in on Sector 4, Yunji told Minho as they watched the probe's feed. The image on the main screen changed to show a piece of the destroyed ship's hull. Strange mark-like patterns covered its surface. They almost looked like bite marks, but on a massive scale. What could do this to reinforced hull plating? Whispered Jao. Before anyone could answer, alarms blared across the bridge. Energy spike detected, shouted Minho. Something large is moving toward us from behind the largest piece of debris. Battle stations, shields up, ordered Unji. Weapons, prepare to fire on my command. The crew rushed to their battle positions as the Harbinger's defense systems came online. The ship's massive weapons arrays began to charge. From behind the broken remains of the colony ship, something emerged. It was unlike anything they had seen before, a massive shape that seemed to shift and change as it moved. It wasn't a ship. It looked almost like a living creature, but impossibly large and strange. Captain Yunji's eyes narrowed as she watched the entity approach. This was why the Harbinger was built. This was humanity's first contact with whatever had been hunting their ships. And the Harbinger was ready to show it that humans were not easy prey. The collective hegemony had ruled this sector of space for 9,000 years. Their bioships, elegant, living vessels that merged technology with genetically engineered organisms, surrounded the anomaly that had appeared at the edge of their territory. Analysis. Their commander asked the advisory neural cluster. Unknown vessel. Configuration suggests weapon systems beyond our technological understanding. Size exceeds any warship in recorded history. 6 hegemony dreadnoughts moved to surround the human vessel, their organic hulls pulsing with stored energy as they prepared to fire warning salvos. Captain, we're being targeted by multiple vessels, Lieutenant Commander Jiwoo reported. Energy signatures suggest weapon systems powering up. Captain Yunji nodded, unsurprised. Let them fire first. Record everything. I want complete analysis of their capabilities. On the lead bioship of the hegemony fleet, Commander Du Yun watched the strange vessel with growing concern. In his 900 years of life, he had never seen anything like it. The vessel was impossibly large and had appeared without warning at the edge of their territory. Is it alive? He asked his second-in-command. Officer Sun Hee consulted with the ship's central neural network, which connected directly to her brain through thin organic filaments. No, Commander. The vessel appears to be fully mechanical, but it contains many life forms inside. Our scans detect approximately 15,000 beings. Do Yun's eyes widened. 15,000. What species would risk so many lives on a single vessel? The hegemony had long ago determined that spreading their population across many smaller ships was safer than concentrating them. This unknown species clearly thought differently. The neural cluster recommends immediate containment procedures, said Sun Hai. This vessel represents a potential threat to hegemony stability. Do Yun nodded slowly. Send the standard first contact warning pulse. If they don't withdraw immediately, we will demonstrate our power. The 6 dreadnoughts positioned themselves in perfect formation around the human ship. Their organic hulls began to pulse with bright blue energy as weapon systems charge. Inside the Harbinger, the bridge crew watched the alien ships with a mixture of fascination and caution. "Those ships are alive," said Science Officer Min Ki, studying the readings on his console. "They appear to be organic technology, grown rather than built." "Are they the ones who destroy our colony ships?" asked Navigator Jaho. "Unknown," replied Min Ki, "but they're certainly advanced. Estimated technology level is at least Class 7, possibly higher." Lieutenant Commander Ji Woo's console suddenly lit up with alerts. "Captain, they're transmitting some kind of energy pattern toward us. It doesn't match any known communication protocol." "It could be a greeting," suggested Communications Officer Taiyan. "Or a warning. Or an attack," added Weapons Officer Da Jung, his hand hovering over the defense controls. Captain Yunji remained calm. "Hold positions. Do not return fire unless I give the command." The Harbinger's advanced sensors recorded every detail of the alien vessels. Their size, composition, energy signatures, all valuable information if conflict became unavoidable. On the Hegemony command ship, Du Yun grew impatient. "They've ignored our warning. Prepare first-level containment pulse." The bioship's weapon ports opened like flowering blossoms, revealing glowing cores of energy. In perfect synchronization, they fired brilliant beams of blue light directly at the Harbinger. Inside the human ship, alarms blared as the energy beams struck their shields. "Shields holding at 98%, reported Daejung. "Minimal power drain." Captain Yunji's expression remained unchanged. "Interesting. Their weapons are powerful, but not designed to penetrate our defenses." "They may be testing us," suggested Jiwoo, "seeing how we respond." "Then let's not disappoint them," said Yunji. "Continue passive scanning. Record everything." In the Hegemony command ship, confusion spread as their sensors reported back. "Commander, our containment pulse had no effect," said Sunhai, her voice betraying rare emotion. "Their shields absorbed the energy without significant degradation." Do Yun's face hardened. "Impossible. Increase to second-level containment. All ships, synchronize and fire." The bioships pulsed with even brighter energy as they prepared a stronger attack. Their living hulls strained under the power being channeled through them. "They're powering up for another attack," reported Jiwoo on the Harbinger's bridge. "Energy levels are significantly higher this time." Captain Yunji finally stood from her command chair. "Let them fire. I want to see what they're truly capable of." The second barrage from the Hegemony ships was blinding. Beams twice as powerful struck the Harbinger from all sides. The massive human ship remained motionless, its shields glowing slightly as they absorbed the attack. "Shields at 95%, reported Da Jung. "We could withstand this level of attack for approximately 47 hours before shield failure." Captain Yunji smiled slightly. "More than enough time." Tactical analysis. Min Ki studied his readings. Their ships appear to be straining to produce that level of firepower. They can't maintain it indefinitely. And there's something else. The ships themselves seem to feel pain when outputting that much energy. "They're alive," Yunji mused. "Truly alive, not just biomechanical." On the Hegemony command ship, Du Yun stared in disbelief at the readings. 9,000 years of Hegemony rule, and never had they encountered a vessel that could withstand their weapons so easily. "This is impossible," he whispered. "What are they?" "Commander," said Sunhai urgently, "the neural cluster is recommending immediate withdrawal and consultation with the High Council. This vessel represents technology beyond our current understanding." Du Yun's pride would not allow retreat. "No, we will show them the full might of the Hegemony. Prepare third-level containment. All ships, maximum power." The bioships began to pulse with red energy now, a sign they were pushing beyond safe limits. The living vessels trembled as they channeled more power than they were designed to handle. Back on the Harbinger, Captain Yunji watched the alien ships with growing concern. Their behavior seemed increasingly desperate. "Captain, those ships are pushing their biological components beyond safe limits," reported Minki. "They appear to be causing themselves damage. They're desperate to prove something," said Yunji. "They've never encountered anything they couldn't intimidate or destroy before." As the hegemony ships prepared for their most powerful attack, Captain Yunji made her decision. "I think we've learned enough. It's time to respond. Tactical, prepare defense demonstration alpha. Target the lead vessel's weapons systems only. Minimal yield." Officer Daejung entered the commands quickly. "Target locked. Ready at your command." Captain Yunji looked once more at the alien ships surrounding them. Then she spoke a single word. "Fire." When the hegemony ships unleashed their opening salvo, brilliant beams of coherent energy designed to disable rather than destroy, the Harbinger's automated defense grid activated. Layers of quantum shields absorbed the attacks without visible strain, while the massive ship remained eerily unresponsive. On the hegemony flagship, panic began to spread as their weapons had no effect. Tactical, demonstrate capability alpha. Single target, minimum yield, ordered Captain Yunji. A seemingly insignificant point on the Harbinger's hull glowed briefly. A heartbeat later, one of the hegemony dreadnoughts simply ceased to exist, not destroyed, but disintegrated down to its component atoms. The silence across both fleets was deafening. Officer Daejung looked up from his tactical station, his face pale. "Target eliminated, Captain. Weapon performed exactly as designed." The bridge crew of the Harbinger stared at their view screens in stunned silence. They had trained for this moment, had known the ship's capabilities in theory, but seeing them demonstrated was something else entirely. Where a massive alien vessel had been just seconds before, there was now only empty space. Captain Yunji remained calm. "Record all sensor data. I want complete analysis of the disintegration sequence." On the remaining hegemony ships, chaos erupted. Commander Du Yun watched in horror as his sensor screen showed nothing where the pride of his fleet had been moments before. The dreadnought Eternal Blossom and its crew of 800, simply gone. "What happened?" he demanded, his voice shaking. "Where is the Eternal Blossom?" Officer Sunhee's face had drained of all color. "Commander, it's gone. Completely gone. Not destroyed. Just erased." The neural cluster that helped command the bioship was pulsing rapidly, its organic components showing signs of stress as it tried to process what had just occurred. "Impossible," whispered Du Yun. "Nothing can do that. Nothing." But the evidence was undeniable. In 9,000 years of hegemony dominance, they had never encountered a weapon of such power, a weapon that could unmake matter itself. "All ships, maintain positions," ordered Du Yun, fighting to keep his voice steady. "Do not fire. I repeat, do not fire." On the Harbinger, Science Officer Min Ki studied the readings from their sensors. "Captain, the alien ships have ceased charging their weapons. They appear to be in some sort of communication with each other. They're deciding what to do next," said Captain Yunji. "They've never faced anything like us before." Lieutenant Jiwoo looked concerned. "Captain, was that necessary? To destroy their ship completely?" Captain Yunji's expression remained neutral. "It wasn't destroyed, Lieutenant. It was disintegrated. And yes, it was necessary. We needed to show them our capabilities clearly and quickly." "That ship was unmanned." "Unmanned?" Jiwoo asked, surprised. "Yes. Our scans confirmed it before we fired. That vessel was controlled remotely. They sacrificed it to test our capabilities." The tension on the bridge lessened slightly with this knowledge. In the hegemony command ship, Du Yun was receiving similar information. The Eternal Blossom was empty. "Are you certain?" Sunhee nodded. "Yes, Commander. It was operating on auto-guidance. The neural cluster confirms this." Du Yun felt marginally better knowing no lives had been lost, but the implications remained terrifying. They somehow knew. They knew which ship to target. "Commander," said Sunhai urgently, "the neural cluster is recommending immediate withdrawal. This vessel represents technology far beyond our understanding. We must consult the High Council." Du Yun knew she was right. Pride had no place when facing such overwhelming power. "Send the withdrawal signal. All ships, prepare for rapid." Before he could finish, a communication request appeared on their main screen. "Commander, the alien vessel is hailing us," reported his communications officer. "They're using our own communication protocols. They've deciphered our language." Du Yun hesitated, then squared his shoulders. "Accept the transmission." The screen filled with the image of Captain Yunji, her calm face revealing nothing of her intentions. "I am Captain Yunji of the United Earth Ship Harbinger," she said, her words perfectly translated into the hegemony language. "You fired upon my vessel without provocation. We have demonstrated a fraction of our defensive capabilities in response." Du Yun managed to find his voice. "I am Commander Du Yun of the collective hegemony. This sector has been under our protection for 9,000 years. Unknown vessels must identify themselves and submit to inspection." Yunji's expression didn't change. "The Harbinger does not submit to anyone. We come in peace, but we will defend ourselves with whatever force necessary." "What do you want from us?" asked Du Yun, abandoning diplomatic protocol in the face of such power. "Knowledge," replied Yunji. "Information. We seek to understand the galaxy and its inhabitants, but we will not be threatened, Commander. The choice of what happens next is yours." Du Yun looked around at his officers, seeing the fear in their eyes. For centuries, the hegemony had expanded by intimidating other species with their superior technology. Now they found themselves on the other side. "We require time to consult with our leadership," Du Yun said finally. "You have 1 hour," said Captain Yunji. "After that, we will continue our mission, with or without your cooperation." The communication ended, leaving the hegemony ships floating in silence around the massive human vessel. Back on the Harbinger, the crew watched the remaining alien ships carefully. "Do you think they'll attack again?" asked Navigator Jiao. Captain Yunji shook her head. "No, they're intelligent. They understand the language of power. Now we wait to see if they can speak the language of peace as well." "And if they can't?" asked Jiwoo. Yunji turned to look at the tactical display, where the empty space marked the spot where an alien vessel had been just minutes before. "Then we will continue the conversation in a language they understand," she said quietly. The next hour would determine whether humanity's first contact with the collective hegemony would end in alliance or annihilation. "Open communications," Captain Yunji commanded. "All frequencies, all formats. Let's see if they want to talk now." The message that went out was simple. "This is Captain Yunji of the United Earth Ship Harbinger. You fired upon us without provocation. We defended ourselves with minimal force. We come seeking knowledge, not conquest. However, we will not tolerate aggression against our vessel or our species." After hurried deliberation, the hegemony responded. "We are the collective hegemony. For 9,000 years, we have maintained order in this sector. New species must prove their worth or accept subordinate status." Captain Yunji's laugh was cold. "We're not interested in your hierarchy. Humanity doesn't seek dominance, but we will not be dominated. We offer a single opportunity: peaceful coexistence through mutual respect or mutual destruction." The bridge of the Harbinger fell silent as they waited for a response. Officer Taiyan monitored the communication channels while the rest of the crew watched the remaining hegemony ships through the main view screen. "They're talking among themselves," reported Taiyan. "Multiple transmission bursts between their ships. They seem confused." Captain Yunji nodded. "They should be. We've broken their understanding of their place in the universe." On the command ship of the hegemony fleet, Commander Du Yun faced a crisis unlike any in his long life. The High Council had responded to his urgent message with clear orders: either bring the alien vessel under hegemony control or destroy it. There could be no equals in their carefully ordered hierarchy. But the High Council didn't understand what they were facing. They hadn't seen a hegemony dreadnought erased from existence with frightening ease. "Commander, the Council's orders are clear," said Officer Sunhae quietly. "We must demand their surrender." Du Yun looked at the massive human ship on his view screen. "And if they refuse, would you have me sacrifice our entire fleet in a pointless attack?" "The Council does not tolerate failure," Sunhae reminded him. Du Yun made his decision. Open a channel to the human vessel. When Captain Yunji's face appeared on his screen again, Du Yun spoke with formal dignity. "Captain Yunji, the collective hegemony has maintained peace in this sector for millennia. All species within our territory follow our guidance for the greater good." "Commander, let me be clear," interrupted Yunji. "We have no interest in your territory or your authority, but we need information. Our colony ships have been disappearing in this region of space. We want to know why." This caught Du Yun by surprise. "Missing ships? We have detected no other vessels of your kind before today. Someone, or something, has destroyed 3 of our colony ships. Each carried 10,000 humans seeking new homes. We built the Harbinger to find answers and ensure it stops." For the first time, Du Yun looked uncertain. "Captain, the hegemony does not attack vessels without proper warning and opportunity for compliance. If your ships were destroyed, it was not by our hand." On the Harbinger, Science Officer Min Ki looked up from his console. "Captain, I believe he's telling the truth. Their weapon signatures don't match what we found in the debris field." Captain Yunji considered this information. "If not you, then who? What else exists in this sector with the power to destroy our ships?" Du Yun hesitated before answering. "There are stories, old legends of something that lives in the void between stars, something that hunts. The hegemony has lost ships too, over the centuries. We assumed they were accidents or failures of the biological components." "You never investigated?" asked Yunji, her voice sharp. "The hegemony does not acknowledge failure," Du Yun admitted. "It would damage our authority with the subordinate species." Captain Yunji shook her head in disgust. "Your pride may have cost thousands of lives, both yours and ours." The hegemony commander seemed to age before their eyes. "Perhaps. But what does your vessel intend to do now?" "We will continue our mission. We will find whatever is destroying ships in this sector, and we will stop it, with or without your help." Du Yun was silent for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different, less formal. "Captain Yunji, I face a difficult choice. My orders are to bring you under hegemony control or to destroy you. Both options appear impossible." "Then perhaps it's time for new orders," suggested Yunji. "If something is hunting in your territory, doesn't that concern the hegemony as well?" "You propose cooperation?" asked Du Yun, surprised. "I propose survival," corrected Yunji, "for both our peoples." On the hegemony ship, Officer Sunhae stepped forward. "Commander, this is unprecedented. The Council would never approve." "The Council isn't here," said Du Yun quietly. "They didn't see what this ship can do." He turned back to the screen. "Captain Yunji, what exactly are you proposing?" "Share your data on missing ships. Join us in our search. Help us find what's out there. In return, we'll share what we learn. 2 species have a better chance than 1 alone." "And the hegemony's authority?" asked Du Yun. Captain Yunji's expression hardened. "Remains with the hegemony. We have no interest in your political structure. But humanity will be recognized as equals, not subordinates. Those are our terms." Du Yun looked around at his officers. Some looked horrified at the suggestion of treating with aliens as equals. Others seemed relieved that conflict might be avoided. "The Council will not be pleased," he said finally. "Sometimes leaders must make difficult decisions for the good of their people," replied Yunji. Isn't protecting your species more important than maintaining your pride? The hegemony commander straightened his shoulders. Very well, Captain. I will join your hunt. One of our vessels will accompany the Harbinger. The others will return to inform the Council of my independent action. Captain Yunji nodded in approval. A wise decision, Commander. Transmit your data on missing ships to us immediately. We'll begin our search at the last known coordinates. After the transmission ended, Lieutenant Ji Wu approached Captain Yunji. Do you trust them, Captain? Trust? No. But I believe in survival instinct, she replied. And I believe they're telling the truth about not attacking our ships. Then what did? Asked Navigator Jiao. Captain Yunji turned to look at the vast emptiness of space beyond the viewports. That's what we're going to find out, she said quietly. And when we do, the Harbinger will show it the same lesson we just taught the hegemony. 3 standard months after the first encounter, the Treaty of Proxima was signed. The Harbinger had remained in hegemony space the entire time, a constant reminder of humanity's capabilities. Your monster ship has changed the order of things, the hegemony leader said privately to Captain Yunji after the ceremony. In 9 millennia, no species has ever forced us to negotiate. The Harbinger isn't a monster, Yunji replied. It's a shield. We built it because we found too many dead civilizations among the stars. We suspected something was hunting intelligent life. As strategic officer, Min Ho coordinated with the hegemony representatives. Data transfers began between human and hegemony vessels, technological exchanges that would transform both civilizations. The Harbinger's true purpose was gradually revealed, not merely a warship, but humanity's first step toward building a united front against cosmic extinction. First contact had begun with intimidation and a demonstration of force, but it was evolving into the foundation of the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever known. The grand hall on the hegemony homeworld glowed with soft blue light. Tall windows showed the 3 moons rising over the horizon. Delegates from 17 species stood in careful order according to their rank in the hegemony. At the center of the room, Captain Yunji signed her name on the final page of the treaty. High Counselor Tai Yang, the supreme leader of the hegemony, added his signature next to hers. His skin shimmered with the bioluminescence that marked his species. With this treaty, we begin a new chapter in galactic history, he announced to the gathered delegates. For the first time, the hegemony welcomes an equal partner. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Many of the subordinate species looked uncomfortable or even angry. For thousands of years, they had accepted their place below the ruling species. Now humans had changed everything. After the ceremony, High Counselor Tai Yang led Captain Yunji to a private garden. Crystal trees grew in perfect patterns, their branches singing softly in the evening breeze. Your monster ship has changed the order of things, he said quietly. In 9 millennia, no species has ever forced us to negotiate. The Harbinger isn't a monster, Yunji replied. It's a shield. We built it because we found too many dead civilizations among the stars. We suspected something was hunting intelligent life. Tai Yang's eyes glowed brighter. And you were right. The creature you and Commander Du Yun found in the void. We've seen it before. You knew about it? Asked Yunji, her voice hardening. Not officially. There were stories, reports that were dismissed, ships that disappeared without explanation. But we never had proof until now. Together they looked up at the night sky, where the Harbinger hung in orbit, visible as a bright point of light, even from the planet's surface. If your ship hadn't come, if you hadn't forced us to look beyond our borders, we might have been next, admitted Tai Yang. Captain Yunji nodded. The void entity was already moving toward your core worlds. It had consumed 3 of our colony ships and 7 of your patrol vessels. She remembered the massive creature they had finally cornered in a dead star system, a being of dark energy that fed on technology and life itself. It had taken the combined might of the Harbinger and 3 hegemony dreadnoughts to destroy it. And there may be more of them out there, said Tai Yang. That's why this alliance matters, replied Yunji. One species alone can't defend against such threats. Inside the Grand Hall, Strategic Officer Minho was working with hegemony scientists. Displays showed technical diagrams as data transfers began between human and hegemony vessels. Your quantum shields are remarkable, said a hegemony engineer, studying the specifications, but they require enormous power. Minho nodded. That's where your biotechnology could help. Your living ships can generate and store energy in ways our mechanical systems can't. All around them, humans and aliens were sharing knowledge that would have been unthinkable 3 months earlier. The Harbinger's true purpose was being revealed, not merely a warship, but humanity's first step toward building a united front against cosmic extinction. In another corner, Lieutenant Ji Woo stood with Commander Du Yun, the hegemony officer who had first confronted the Harbinger. Your captain is remarkable, Du Yun said. When we first met, I thought she would destroy us all. Ji Woo smiled. She could have, but that's not why we built the Harbinger. To think, we called it a monster ship, mused Du Yun, when all along it was meant to protect. Sometimes protection requires strength, replied Ji Woo, and the willingness to use it. Back in the garden, Captain Yunji was completing her discussion with High Counselor Ta Yang. What happens now? Asked the hegemony leader. Your ship has completed its mission. Our mission is just beginning, said Yunji. The void entity was the first threat we faced together, but it won't be the last. Earth is already building more ships like the Harbinger, and we hope the hegemony will join us. A fleet of monster ships, asked Ta Yang with what might have been a smile. A shield for all intelligent life, corrected Yunji, built and crewed by many species. As they returned to the celebration, Yunji caught sight of her crew mingling with representatives from across the hegemony. Old barriers were breaking down. New friendships were forming. First contact had begun with intimidation and a demonstration of force, but it was evolving into something much more valuable, the foundation of the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever known. On the Harbinger's bridge the next day, Captain Yunji stood before her crew. Our mission has changed, she told them. We came looking for a threat to humanity. We found it, and we eliminated it. But we also found something unexpected. Allies. She gestured to the view screen, where a hegemony bioship now floated peacefully alongside the Harbinger. Together, we're stronger than either of us alone. The Treaty of Proxima isn't just about peace between our species. It's about survival for all intelligent life. As the Harbinger prepared to return to Earth with news of their success, Captain Yunji knew that this was just the beginning. The massive ship, once built in secret as humanity's last defense, would now lead the way toward a united galaxy. Set course for Earth, she ordered. We have good news to share. The monster ship turned gracefully and accelerated, its new hegemony ally following close behind, no longer in fear but in friendship.